Fightclubbin.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Fightclubbin with me, the Voidtalon. As you can see, we're getting started off with a match against me and Baya. He is using a Dragon Slayer Spear and a Dragon Chime versus me, throwing off a recent build that I actually themed after a character from Undertale. If anybody can guess what that is, feel free to do so in the comments. Until then, I am using the Saiyans Halberd with a Bone Fist in my offhand, and I've got a few other surprises up my sleeve as we're going. Right now, I am currently leading Vaya with health, and I kind of rather stupidly just eat a Great Lightning Spear to the face. For those who do not know, Great Lightning Spear does more damage the closer you are to it. A little bit of pokey-poke trade going on here. Back to the neutral game as we both get our stamina back. Pulls out a shield in an attempt to poke me out, but we just poke each other's faces. I get a bit of chip damage right there as I hit his shield twice with a rolling attack followed up by an R1. Get a running attack into a dual Bone Fist setup. I'm going to try and hit him with a longer attack. Switch out to my Fumed Straight Sword to get some distance on him, and I go back to full sword and board, roll through that, get clipped, and get the backstab for the victory. Good fight, Vaya. Up next, we have another match with me and Vaya. This particular fight club ended up being a little bit smaller than the usual one, especially since the last one, Aldia's Keep. Loved that one. Thank everyone again for showing up for the Aldia's Keep fight club. This one was set down in Brightstone, Tseldora at the lower bonfire near the sinking pit. I was hoping that some people would fall in it, and we actually do get one time where it happens in here. Me and Vaya going back and forth, both using sword and board, him having a sunlight buff on his, I think, Thorn Defender Greatsword, me two-handing the Saiyans, trying to get some excess damage. It is a Thorned Greatsword. Back to my Bone Fist setup, which allows me to do basically that, which is a really tricky attack to see coming, because I roll past you, I turn around and then punch you in the gums. I punch you right in the gabba. Followed up by a spinning running attack for the victory. Again, good fight, Vaya. Up next, we have Too Easy versus me. There we go. Too Easy invaded me as an Arbiter Spirit because Voidtalon is a filthy sinner. Not a heavy sinner, but still a filthy sinner. Too Easy is using a fire-buffed Pursuer's Ultra Greatsword and a short sword in the offhand. It looks like actually a long sword, potentially. Both of us have fairly good hits. I don't quite know why I rolled through that, but it ended up paying off as I get a decent combo, followed up by a poke after he rolls. So I chip off about 40% of his health right there, getting a running attack around the R1, followed up by a punch to the face, a poke in the butt. It doesn't quite pay out for me. I ended up getting chipped for it. And I actually at this point realized that my heads-up display was not running, so I've been fighting blind and I have no clue how much health I actually possess. Too Easy nearly going down with that, rolls out of the way of my second R1. I switch up to double Bone Fist over to my Fume Sword. Going to go for the fast play. Both of us basically trying to play for it. I don't know how much health I have, so I'm being careful. I get a side running attack that misses. We both whiff our follow-up attacks. I miss a poke and get the R1. Technically the R2, isn't it? I forget which one it is for the one hand. It's been a while since I've used the Saiyans Halberd. This video is roughly about a week and a half old. I've been very busy lately, but still loving doing this. I get the stagger, but I do not get the follow-up kick. Get an R1 with the Fume Sword for the win. Good fight, Too Easy. I always bow to my Arbiters, because I am an Arbiter, believe it or not. Yes, I'm a Blueberry. Next up we have Baya v. me again, I believe. Yes. According to my notes, this is going to be a 3 matchup against me and Vaya. Him going back to his Thorn Greatsword and Dragon's Chime, me following the exact same one. A lot of these ended up being versus me because, as I said before, there were not a lot of contestants in this. I think we only had about 4 or 5 people show up, but it was a lot of fun. Back to the fight, I clip him with a running R1 into another unrunning R1, hitting him behind me. Don't quite get the trade I was going for. A lagged out Ultra Greatsword swing that appears to be the Drake Wing Ultra Greatsword. I see the wings at the base of it. I somehow do a jumping attack to avoid the golf swing but get hit by the other one. A Force trying to stagger me into something else. This is a very interesting combo. Force, if you don't know, is a great spell because with faster weapons, not quite with Ultras, but ones with that have... Well, that was a good poke on my part. But ones that have a faster setup, after this match, yeah, that happened. That wasn't very smart on my part. But that's what happens when you need to repair your gear, is you just go and take a nap in the diatomous earth. Me and Vaya, again, him back with the Drake Wing Ultra Greatsword, trying to get me with the backstep golf swing. I punch him in the gums for his trouble. So we space each other out. And I don't really know what he was trying to do there. I think he was trying to get me to do a running R1, and he was trying to get the Ultra Parry on it. I do get clipped twice by that thing, and I will say, that thing definitely hurts. He backsteps my poke, very smart on his part. We trade. I somehow roll my way out of that, almost into a punish R1. Both of us, you can see, are doing pretty decent on our spacing. The clip range on that running R1 is fantastic, but I nail the backstab, and that does a huge chunk of damage, almost killing him. If I can get a wake-up hit, I can kill him. Looks like I almost get that. If he had tried to do a spell at that point, I would have won. Back to the Fume Straight Sword. Yeah, it seems very common, a running theme with people, that when an opponent gets low on health and you're low on health, you want to pull out a faster weapon. Don't get me wrong. Straight weapons, strength weapons, big weapons, slow weapons, they're all a lot of fun. Yeah, I felt pretty bad for that one right there. That was a very good trick, throwing out Wrath of the Gods after a bunch of forces in our previous fights. He played a game on me there and got for it. Clip him with another running R1. That is an amazing attack with halberds. Was hoping to get that, don't. I somehow do not get punished. If he had done a follow-up R1 right there, however, he would have hit me and probably gotten 2 hits off of it. He's playing mind games, canceling his spells. I almost roll to my death in that pit right there. The thing with move cancels is you can sometimes get caught for it. The Power Stance Bone Fist actually does a serious amount of damage when you look at it. Most people don't like the dual Bone Fist set, but I do like the L2 side hit, forward hit, because it goes into a great combination. I get destroyed right there as he hits me with both the sword and the special attack. Almost nail him with an uppercut, as we're both now playing around a little bit. Me and Vea have been talking to each other between fights, so we're kind of just playing around, playing with different things. Me keeping my same setup, he's messing weapons up. Very good use of the Shodel right there, I might want to add, because he noticed that I was having. As you can see, me and him were talking right there. I didn't quite cut it out because I didn't want to cut the clip that close. Whoop! Next up, we have another contender entering the fight. We have Vea v. Premtim, I believe is his name. Premtim using a heavy crossbow and a greatsword. Rocking a pretty decent setup there with the, looks like to be, it's either the Llewellyn armor and the King's leggings, or the King's leggings and the King's armor. Actually, I believe those are the steel leggings, along with the steel helmet. Can't quite tell what gauntlets he has at the moment, but he does have a pyromancy as a backup. Tries to get a fireball into an R1, into a baited set of R1s. This is a tactic I've seen a lot with ultra weapons, is that someone will throw out a false R1 in an effort to either set up a parry, or in an effort to get their opponent to try and get close to them so they can nail them with a second or third follow-up R1. He's trying to use his weapon sweep to his advantage. He does somehow manage to miss his first attack, but Vea catches up with the shuttle, which a lot of people forget is technically a curved sword. Going back to the force, which allows him to, well, good on you, Rorik, taking advantage of your greatsword's counter damage. Man, that bloodstain. Next up, we have Vea v. Rorik. I am sorry, I just said that Premtim was Rorik. I feel terrible. Premtim. Not Premtim. This is Rorik. Whoops. Rorik is using the... No, this is Premtim v. Rorik. Man, I'm getting my matches mixed up. Yep, Rorik vs. Premtim. Premtim using the Murakumo, Rorik using his Pyro Crossbow Greatsword setup. I think Rorik probably could better off by picking himself up a heavier weapon as an offhand. I've noticed those tend to be the most utility-based builds. Then again, I do Blood Brothers, I do cosplays, so I play with a lot of stuff. Back to the match, though. Premtim is on low health, and Rorik is not in the best of situations either. I believe Rorik is about 50% health. Premtim is about at 35. Ooh, that actually was Rorik's Ring of Thorns triggering to eat that last chunk of health off of Premtim. Next up, we have Vea v. Rorik, I believe. Vea using the Dragon Slayer Crescent Axe Rorik, keeping his current setup. I've been noticing that Vea has a tendency to switch his gear up between every single match, which I must admit is quite interesting. I don't know what that double spell cancel was. I think it was Emit Force is what it was going to turn into, but he didn't actually use it. Ooh. You gotta admit one thing about the Dragon Slayer Crescent Axe. When you hit with it, it does a lot of damage. That would have been a Heavenly Thunder if Rorik had not guard broke him. No damage done by either party during that exchange right there. Quite lucky by Rorik to not get hit by that Heavenly Thunder. Back to the neutral game of Bind Plays with a forward, backwards rolling attack by Rorik that doesn't quite pay off. Eats a firebomb for his trouble. There's one thing I'll definitely admit about Vea. Vea has a lot of stuff equipped to him. Throwing daggers, fire bombs, miracles, miracle cancels, and a lot of work goes into this. Ooh, that was a very good rolling poke by Rorik. As we do the usual, I'm going to walk in circles while I wait for you to do something. Tactic. Good backstep. Ooh, that was very nice. Well done, Vea, with that great lightning spear, or was that it was a great lightning spear? A little bit of friendly gesturing before the warm-up. Fight. I think on this one, yeah, I forgot my head again. If I'm remembering this match, I get very destroyed as I got clipped a second time by Heavenly Thunder right there. And he's now got the Bow of Want out. So I technically believe I have no health, but I have no way of knowing this because, well, I don't have a HUD up. You'll see that in a moment, I believe. Yep, right there. Yep, I remembered that match. Next up is Voidtalon, myself, against Premtim. I'm trying to get Premtim to fight me instead of Vea in the background there. It takes a while to tell the message. Gotta love a game that doesn't have instant messaging sometimes. Leads to some very big interesting. And that lets me know that Premtim is actually using the Watcher Shield, basically the meta shield of the game. It has ridiculous resistances, and it is the only shield that when lightning infused can reach 100% lightning resistance. Which is why it's a good shield to use. I mean, just because something is meta doesn't mean that it's, you know, necessarily scummy. It just means that it's good. That's, you know, the longsword has a good moveset. The Watcher's Shield has a good defense rating. Halberds, like the one I'm using right now, have spear moves, even though I'm clearly sucking because I just got my complete butt destroyed by a Murakumo. Murakumo is a pretty decent curved sword, too. You see it and the Dragon Curved Greatsword very much. You don't see that much of the Arced Sword or the Curved Mill Sword, I've noticed, in a lot of PvP that I've been doing. But next up, we have Premtim against Vea. Ouch. Sorry about that. Vea is rocking a build that he told me later was called the Bow Cleric. He's using... Oh, that was a backstab. Very nice, Premtim. The Bow Cleric build is basically his main weapon is the Bow of Want, and he has a chime as his offhand. The trick, of course, being that he doesn't actually have a melee weapon, so he can do jumping attacks with the bow, shoot you with the bow, or try to hit you with miracles, which means spacing is critical for him, but doesn't work out for him. Premtim wins. Good going, Premtim. Next up, we have Rorik against Premtim, I believe. Rorik switching out to a Peasant Hat and a Sanctum Mace, along with, I believe that is Reeve's Great Shield. Whoop, 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 whoop. Circling, circling, I can circle you all the damn day. I left out a few words because I'm not supposed to sing the actual lyrics. But Premtim is destroying Rorik at the moment. And I believe Rorik he just gestured and committed suicide for that match. I believe he just decided that he lost and he took it for him. And I think Premtim followed him, didn't he? Yes, he did. Well, when people suicide to Fight Club, you all know who the victory of that one goes. The victor goes to, yeah, you guessed it, this guy, right here. The Voidtalon, me, the host, because the host always wins. At least if you're to believe Reddit, you know, hosts of Fight Clubs are scummy people that use Fight Clubs to get extra souls. Again, we have Vea v Voidtalon again. I believe we were down to the last two matches of the fight that are me against Vea. I think in total that there was 7 or 8 matches of me and Vea. But I think there was only 4 people. Myself, Vea, Rorik, Premtim. Yeah, that was it. I think we had one other person show up, but I remember their match had to be cut because I got basically camera bombed by a Arbiter Spirit the entire time, so the footage was kind of, well, destroyed. Anyway, I just wasn't paying attention to what was going on in the fight right there. Great. Well, good fight, Vea, however it went down. Got me being an idiot over here on the commentary. This is the final matchup with me and Vea. I wanted to do what I usually do with Fightclubbin, and I wanted to get a free-for-all at the end of this, but we had connection problems at the end of this, and I couldn't summon anybody but Vea. I managed to message Rorik and Premtim outside of the match afterwards, and they told me that if I had exited the game and re-entered, that might have fixed it, and maybe I'll do that for future Fightclubbin, so thank you again for letting me know on that. Right now, I am using the dual stance Bone Fist, and since I'm fighting the Bow Cleric build, I threw on the old Bell Helm to be sure that he couldn't stagger me. He later commented on it that once he saw that helm came out, he was like, well, what am I gonna do? So I'm trying to not let him get his spacing, so that way I can try to roll through that, and I did. I still really wish the Bone Fist Backstab had a second hit on it, like the other one does, but it doesn't. Ooh, that 968 damage uppercut. He's trying to hit me with a bow. I'm trying to repeatedly uppercut him, which is kind of funny. I land a special for nearly knocking him out. I think that was about 700, not 700, it was like 300 some damage. You see, when I'm playing these back on recording, I can't see perfectly because the text gets blurred down in quality. He tries to hit me with a rolling attack. I quick roll through it and punch him in the booty for the victory. Anyway, that will complete this Fight Club, and thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. On to the outro.